Does it have something to do with the feeling that...
That's what I'm saying. That tone is the feeling. You got the feeling in there to this kid.
And there's no way that you can counterfeit that?
You can't counterfeit that.
You mentioned earlier he made a record a long time ago, back in the 70s. From what I understand, he didn't actively promote it, and that in itself is a decision. A big part of kind of, quote, making it in the music business is self-belief.
Well, I'd rather be buried in some old cypress grove.
There is a great deal of people with talent, but who don't have the self-belief or the confidence, that feeling in them that they are going to do this or die. They, for lack of a better phrase, fall by the wayside. Many people preserve their art by doing a day job or a night job and working at a petrol station or washing dishes or being a chef or, you know, whatever. Because then their art, nobody can fuck with it.
Crow Jane, Crow Janie, Crow Jane, don't you hold your head so high. Someday you know that you've got to die. You got to lay down and you got to die. You got to. I'm going to buy me a pistol, buy me 44. Shoot my Crow Jane just to see her fall. She got to fall, she got to fall, she got to. Crow Jane, Crow Janie, Crow Jane, don't you hold your head so high. Someday you know that you've got to die.
That is a decision, a conscious decision that you make early in life, that you're not that hungry for it. One makes that choice at an early age that they just want to do something else, that for whatever reason, if they don't have that skin of leather to take all the criticism and all that's involved in trying to make it in the arts, they opt out. You know, Roger, for whatever reason, didn't want to go after it.
With a golden chain, every link I will call my Crow Jane's name. Crow Jane, Crow Jane, Crow. Crow Jane, Crow Janie, Crow Jane, don't you hold your head so high. Someday.
I couldn't believe this was an English guy. He was so far ahead of what was going on in this country. He was unlike any other British acoustic blues players that were around in the late 60s, 70s and 80s. There was this sort of intelligence in his playing and his creativity, very individualistic approach to what he was doing. He was taking a lot of the roots, but most importantly what Roger was doing, he was writing songs as well. So he was incorporating all these things he'd learned, merging them into his own songs.
You got to lay down and you got to die, you got to.
I was just busking around Glasgow in 1978, and I fell in with a guy and his wife who were living there. The two of them happened to be real dyed-in-the-wool hippies, and they enjoyed good sing-song. And their record collection just sort of educated me. I was 18, 19, and I ended up in these parties in these houses, and they played Roger Hubbard's album, The Brighton Bell Blues, and I was blown away. The songs that I just love. I think, if I can remember rightly, I pulled my pants down to my knees, gonna strut my total away who I please.
I'm satisfied, tickle too. I'm old enough to marry you, I'm satisfied. It's gonna bring you back, I'm satisfied, tickle too. I'm old enough to marry you, I'm satisfied.
I just thought, wow, this album is just amazing.
Well, says I'm out here, baby, just because I'm all alone. I haven't got nobody just to carry my smoking on. Won't you just smoke my cigarette? Smoke it there all night long.
He was the finest finger picker I had ever heard. Clean picking, and it was breathtaking. You know, he did a couple of Blind Blake songs, and he did a beautiful takeoff on Book of White slide playing. And I thought to myself, this kid has got the magic. I said, you know, I only wished I could play guitar that good.
Won't you make me, baby, one pallet on your floor? Won't you make me, baby, one pallet on your floor? Won't you make me a pallet down across your floor? Make it so your man will never
gained greatness as time went by. You know, it still stands the test of time. It's still great, and people still want to buy it. So people kind of revere the kind of mastery on that album. It's him singing. It's natural. There's nothing forced about it, and it's very sweet and very tuneful, and a great tone.
I first heard about Roger Hubbard because my dad wrote a review of his record in Rolling Stone magazine back in the early 70s. There are a lot of barriers to entry when it comes to emulating that music. It's cultural barriers when it comes to the lyrics. It's technically difficult. Roger Hubbard is one of just a handful of people who can play like John Hurt or Skip James or Book of White or Robert Johnson or Bo Carter in a way that's authentic and accurate and also creative.
Well, I love you, baby, tell the world I do. Well, I love you, mama, tell the world I do.
If you have musical talent and you enjoy playing music, that is an end unto itself. If you decide you want to make a living at it, then you have to take on board all sorts of other realities that are frankly not things that musicians particularly want to think about. If you're a professional musician, you're suddenly obeying the laws of commerce. Trying to steer a clear musical path in spite of that is very hard to do. It's not for everybody. I think there are some people who have more musical integrity than a desire to get into the music business necessarily. I think Roger has a lot of musical integrity.
She was a dreamer. And I was a fool. Thinking love was forever. But life is so cruel. So I try to be everything that she wants me to be. This ain't no bed of roses, but it's heaven to me. Sometimes I wonder.
This is all I've got left in my life. Didn't know I was so old.
Will the arms of another?
Rolling Stone, February the 3rd, 1972, page 34. Brighton Bell Blues, Roger Hubbard, written by Timothy Ferris. Ends with, whatever he does, he has created in this record a sort of monument to the full flowing of white blues scholarship and revealed it as not too bad at all.
But it's heaven to me.
As soon as I'd done that album, I didn't really like it, you know. It's like, oh, is this how I sound? I didn't like the sound of my voice. I didn't like it, you know.
Well, back in the winter of '69, I had met a famous blues singer named Joanne Kelly from London. And she was recording in New York City for Nick Pearls, who had a record company called Yazoo Records, which reissued old 78s. And then he started Blue Goose Records for live people that were playing old-time music. And Joanne said if I was ever in London, I should ring her up. I was at Joanne Kelly's place for almost a half a year. Nick Pearls came over to record some people that Joanne Kelly had recommended, and high on the list was Roger Hubbard.
Joanne approached me and said, look, this guy Nick Pearls, who I was a bit in awe of actually, used to go around places in America collecting old 78s and remastering them, putting them on albums. He was out looking for people that could actually play this music, you know.
He knew his stuff, Nick. He was a real blues collector, as you can tell from all the reissues he put out. He knew there was a good scene in Britain. And of course, the young people in America at that time weren't into the blues, particularly young black people. It was until quite a while later that the young, musicians started coming up again. And he was looking for, musicians to sign. He had Sammy Mitchell and Graham Hine and...
I was asked to do an audition for him, so Joanne was kind enough to let him use her house, her front room, for the recording. Larry Johnson came over from America with Nick, and he gave Nick the okay to say that, yeah, I could do the thing right, they'll play the blues. And that was good coming from him, because he was the real thing, I went up in November, December of 1970, so I must have been just turned 20 then. And I spent 2 days recording the album for Nick, and that was that. No effects, nothing, it was just quite a dry recording.
Roger was doing a sound check, and Nick Pearls wasn't thrilled with the sound of the Lovin guitars, so he asked me if he could use my Martin guitar. So I said, sure. I was already blown away by hearing his sound check, because he's just a very accurate right hand. The right hand is the trick. The left hand's got to know where the chords are. I would say the left hand's your personality and the right hand's your brain. He knew what he was doing with his right hand. He had one of the greatest right hands. I mean, the steady thump, the cleanliness, the accuracy of his touch on the guitar. You can't just say, I'm going to play like that. It's a gift.
When I actually saw the picture, it was chosen for me already, and I didn't have any say in that, and I really didn't like it. I suppose I looked like a girl on it, and I couldn't identify with myself on it. That was one of the reasons why I didn't sort of go out and promote the record. It was horrific, I just sort of shied away from it. Yeah, I got a couple of letters here that Nick Pearls wrote to me, dating March 31st, 1971. It says, apart from, he's sending me the contracts after the recording. And he says, the LP is coming along well. Cover is done, and I will send you a copy of it in about a week. Notes in about a week. It should be out in 3 or 4 weeks. I am very pleased with it, and I think you're one of the best, if not the best, white cat playing blues. And I want to record more songs when I come over, if you still need the cash and want to play blues. Also, he says, I hear Muddy Waters said you were out of sight in a Sounds article. You should mail me things like that for PR. If the record sells well, you'll get more bread, so it's in your interest.
What he had back then was so special, and it's kind of a shame that the scene didn't pick up on it. I don't know in those first years after the record if he was working all the quote blues clubs and folk clubs in the UK, but he should have been at the Cambridge Folk Festival. He should have been at any major event.
Won't you make me, baby, one pallet on your floor? Won't you make me, baby, one pallet on your floor? Make me a pallet down on your floor. Make it so your man will never know. Well, I love you, baby, 'cause you're so nice and brown. was offered the chance to go to New York to play the coffee houses in 1972, I believe it was. But I declined. It was all getting worked out, the transportation, everything, you know, all the gigs were getting listed. And I just sort of pulled out, really.
Well, I love you, baby. Tell the world I do. I love you, Mom.
I was a bit green at the time and a bit scared of going on my own, you know, and I just sort of let it go. So I never did go. The biggest town I've ever been in was Brighton and London sometimes, you know. But there were friends around me, you know. But there I would have been on my own. So, yeah, it sort of regretted it. There's really nothing to be nervous about. Here it's all very much like England, in that you'll just travel from place to place doing one-nighters. The distances are a bit more, but there's basically nothing different. I'm sure you won't have any trouble. Please think about recording while you're here. It would be some extra bread for you. And I think you should have another record out. We'll keep in touch.
So try to be everything.
Anyway, there you go. It's my fault, really. I'd experimented quite a lot with LSD. I found it hard to communicate to people, the outside world. I needed to find my feet again, you know. The invitation to America came at a time when I was very insecure. I was in a really bad spot, really bad. I was in a place I couldn't get out of easy at all. There was no doors open, nothing, except this music thing. I was stuck in that, and it wasn't really going anywhere because I was too, you know, I wasn't confident enough performer to, you know, I wasn't a showman or anything.
But time is a healer. What's gonna be is gonna be.
My domestic life was, you know, trailing behind, and I wasn't giving it all the care and attention I should have been. And basically, I lost my wife and child to, you know, in the course of doing what I thought I was supposed to do, which was music and writing songs and stuff. And yeah, I should have been earning a living and looking after him, you know.
A beautiful dreamer.
When you're 17, as I say, you've got nothing to lose, you've got no ties, you have no responsibilities. Later on in life, it's you settle down, you put some roots down, you have to run the risk of losing what you've got, and everybody makes their own personal decisions. But certainly pursuing music is a long shot. It's a gamble, there's a lot of risk involved. That's not for everybody necessarily.
My first wife, she went to live with someone else. My child, who was 2.5, you know, was, I remember being taken away in a taxi. It's all a bit vague, really, because of the very bad lifestyle that I was leading at the time. But I think my next girlfriend got me away from all that, and after, you know, 3 or 4 years, I moved to the Hastings area and sort of got back on my feet, started playing blues again.
Hastings, holiday town of contrast.
I was looking for direction Saw a sign up in the skies, and I made a connection with the magic in her eyes. The confusion inside me slips away just like a dream, and I am drawn to this woman who shines a light on me. She's a lodestone rainbow gal. She ain't no part of this world. Her magnetizing colors run.
Hi, darling. Hello, darling. Hello. I'm at the workshop doing this interview. I've got to deliver something to Alex.
I got home so late I can't deny. Was held up by some friends of mine. I had a drink, I didn't realize the time.
I'm going to go down there in about 10 minutes.
I stumbled down the street.
So I'll come back at 3.
You know I couldn't even
Okay.
feel my feet. Although I made it home somehow, I'm in the doghouse now. We hadn't talked for quite a while. Walked a fine line just to see a smile. Thought I'd maybe try my luck again. Then I went out and got waylaid. Now it's a bigger hole that I had made. Though I made it home somehow, I'm in the doghouse now. I'm in the doghouse. Yes, I am. I'm in the doghouse. She shut me out. Although I made it home somehow, I'm in the doghouse now.
I've just changed the handles around because they got swan necks on the right-hand drawer, and I couldn't.
People are up there for a reason, and often the reason they're up there is because of them. And that's why they've wanted to be, and that's where they've seen their journey going. I just think Roger's journey is do the best that you can, express yourself. If it happens, it does. I'm still doing what I love doing anyway.
So it's all right. It looks okay.
I always chose songs that fit me, and I think the greatest talents do that. I think Roger did that. I mean, it makes you believe that the songs are part of him. We play this music because we love it, not because we thought we'd get rich.
Two things, and the other one I've done the brace.
He seems as valid as anyone else I've worked with. You know, people who have been, quote, successful. There's a lot of really talented people out there who are not known and who will never be known.
He's one of the best. I've played with really good ones in the States and in England. He's the real deal.
The reason that Muddy Waters said that about Roger, about his prowess, the reason that Roger is like that is because of what he does. It's because he does spend the hours in the workshop doing that thing. That's why he's so great on the guitar. This is us. This is a story of our lives. This is, you know, when we touch the strings, that, you know, that's when I play a note, you know, that's 55 years, you know. You know what I mean? There's a lifetime in that note, you know. If I'd have had a different life, that note wouldn't have sounded like that. It would have sounded different.
So everything that someone like you and Roger play, you play from experiences, you think?
That's what music is. That's every single experience he's had in his life that's being expressed at that millisecond of time as he squeezes that, you know, this is his whole being coming out there, and that's why it sounds like that.
If you're a musician and you're a singer too, then you're singing songs with lyrics, and the lyrics can be fairly implicit or explicit, and what you have to choose what it is that you want to sing about. And there are some enduring themes that throughout the years keep resonating with people, you know, lost love and that sort of stuff. But once you've actually lived a life, then you've got some stuff to talk about and sing about. And I think lyrically, the content presents part of Roger's story, you know, his life story and his life experiences, and it's more valuable for that, really.
Thought I saw you out in the crowd tonight. Almost broke my heart. Could have been the spotlight playing with my sight, or I was wishing on a star. Any other time I would be just fine, but my heart's not made of stone.
I've had lots of ups and downs, relationships that have gone wrong, children that I don't see. I think it helps to have a bit of life experience, and probably helps to have a lot of bad times as well, you know, especially if you're writing in the blues vein, you know, because you're singing about life, your own life.
Didn't want you to see me cry. Was that you, just standing there?
Came home from a very emotional thing. After seeing my daughter for 9 years, she suddenly came, she was at a gig, you know, and I went home and wrote the song.
Thought I saw you out in the crowd tonight. Almost broke my heart.
And he's such a brilliant songwriter and performer and guitar player. It's extremely unusual. So let's hear it one more for Roger Hubbard.
Playing with my sight, or I was wishing on a star. Any other time I would be just fine, but my heart's not made of stone. It's been a long time gone since we never said goodbye.
Roger Hubbard.
You've been away too long. Didn't want you to see me cry.
I suspect that he's refined his songwriting over the last 35 years. You get like a pure product right now from him. And a song is a song is a song. A good song has a life forever.
There's a tidal wave.
Roger Hubbard, yo.
Hope we meet again someday.
Some are literally crying to get out its songs. And you stumble over writing them because you're crying yourself, but then, you know, after a few goes with it, you can control the emotion. There's still a lot of sadness in my life, apart from being happy from day to day. There's still sort of unresolved stuff, you know, emotionally, but that's the well I draw from. I suppose in writing songs, you know, you can get back to that place. Could be a bit of inspiration still there, you know.
You've been away too long. Didn't want you to see me cry.
Knowing what you know now, would you have done anything differently back then?
Oh yeah, sure, of course I would. I would have gone to America. I would have played in all the coffee houses in New York. Yeah, I would have done it, but yeah, I mean, you can say that now. Yeah.
Accidentally ejected from his Hawk T1. The company Martin Baker Aircraft is alleged to have breached health and safety law. The government has rejected a call by families of some of those killed.
I'm working at Zix record company, Zix Music. My title is Assistant A&R. One of the first projects that the head of the company gave us was to find some blues artists. I went on YouTube and started searching around for artists, male, female, it didn't matter where they were from. Of course, people that were open to a record deal. And I came across 4 artists, and one of them was Roger Hubbard. I'd never heard of him before, but I started listening to all, he's done so much through the years, and yet, you know, he's not a big star. And I thought to myself, why? He's amazing. I started paying a lot of attention to him, and so did the head of the company. I made contact with Roger, and he sent me some of his CDs, and we talked on the phone. We offered the deal, and he accepted. So I'm very happy for him. You know, I really want to see us work closely together to get him moving, and I think that's really going to happen because, as I said, the head of our company really likes what he does.
I finally signed a contract with them, Zix Music, and it's given me, hopefully it'll give me a world platform for my future songs, you know, and my past songs as well. I mean, the world's changing. I can't distribute my own stuff really. I don't know how to do it, but having a company to do that for you, you know, it's like it takes the edge off things a bit. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the future. Possible gigs in Germany, Austria, Switzerland.
Our contract is worldwide with Roger. So it's not that we, you know, start small and then move, but of course being situated in Germany, Zix they'll use all of their marketing power here to get him out to do these concerts, get him into the different countries. I'm already in contact with several blues agents.
I'll start again.
By starting in those and making a name here, you then spread out to the festivals. There's quite a few blues festivals in Europe. And getting in there, you're in there with a live band, and then you're dealing with thousands of people.
We had the same dream.
It's a point now in his career, it's got to happen, you know, and that's what we want. I mean, we wouldn't sign him if we didn't have an interest in him as an artist.
And we'll live our lives together in a sweet old-fashioned way. We're on the same page, out of the same book. In this world of tomorrow, we keep something good from yesterday.
Blues is sellable. Blues is not a fad music for a certain time. Blues has never changed. Blues today is like blues in the 80s, blues in the 60s, and blues in the 40s. good blues will always be there. I think it's a timeless music. And again, Roger is great. He's got great sounds.
Don't wanna step out of this fantasy. We got a good thing living in this used to be. We gotta know.
I don't think they came at me from the right angle, you know. They misjudged what I'm really good at.
And we'll watch the sunset, say goodbye to another day.
I was misguided there. It's a shame.
And then we'll drive home together.
I don't think they know how to pigeonhole me.
In a sweet old
I'm not a showman.
way.